Happy Wednesday. I don't know why I've started like sing-songing the first thing I say in all of these, but it's become a thing.
Because we always do that. Your hair looks super cute, by the way.
Shucks.
Stop
it.
It does. It does. It's so cute.
Aw.
Okay, welcome to Cackles and
Conversations
with Becca
and Anna. I'm eating a Pop-Tart. Nobody judge me. I am hungry. And alas, I must nourish myself with cardboard and sugar.
Okay, so I will go first. We're going to be reading Christmas Reddit stories.
Which I feel like needs to be said. I came violently underprepared for this to the point where Becca found all my stories for me too. So the important thing to take away from this is that first of all, Becca rocks. Secondly, is that I have absolutely no idea what I'm getting into today. Which
Okay.
is super exciting.
So it's okay because I've been prepared for way too long. I just have a lot of free time, so and what's funny is like I was overly prepared for something that we were ending up not going, something that we were pushing back because I was not here to record because I was sick.
Ew.
So I prepared for that as well. And I didn't prepare for something else that I was supposed to prepare for. So it's okay. See, it's fine.
You win some, you lose some.
So I had 6 to choose from, and now we're just going to switch back and forth. So it's going to be fun. I shall go first. Okay. So this story is from Paranormal Encounters.
Insert spooky music.
A Christmas ghost story for you.
Like Scrooge?
I don't know. You'll have to see. Hi, everyone. It's Christmas, and that brought back some memories from my childhood that I wanted to share. Some of you will undoubtedly think that this is a fictional story, and some won't believe any of it, and that's okay. The only thing I can tell you is that it's all 100% true. There are many, many more events that I experienced in this home, but I just collected the I think they tried to say highlights, but they spelled it HILITES. Highlights here.
Close enough. We got the idea.
I got what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I was really confused for a second. Also, believe it or not, I lived in 2 more haunted homes in my later life. If you want to hear about those also, just let me know. We might have to look them up later on a different episode. When I was 5, my family moved into a new home. We were a large family, being 7 of us all together, with myself being the youngest of the bunch. The home was not luxurious by any means. Being an older home in a neighborhood that straddled an industrial area. Close up on Anna. Where was I?
Oh, that's better. I am so sorry for that interruption. I looked up and I saw ourselves and I was like, oh God, we're even more washed out than normal.
Oh no.
Sorry everyone for that hideous close-up. Please continue.
You're gorgeous. Be nice to yourself. Trying to figure out where we're at.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
It's okay. The home was not luxurious by any means, being an older home in a neighborhood that straddled a industrial area. The first 2 years were pretty uneventful for me, and I don't recall anything unusual during that time. But by the time I was 7, that all changed. Regularly, in fact, almost nightly, I would hear someone coming up the stairs that led to the upper floor where the bedrooms were located. At first, I thought it was one of my sisters coming up and up the stairs because the steps were soft and steady. I listened in what?
Oh, I'm listening intently. I won't look at you anymore. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just you said the word I was about to say. I listened intently to the steps every night until one night it dawned on me there were only 7 or 8 footfalls. I knew there were more stairs than that because as a kid I counted them. There were 13. My child logic told me that someone had gone halfway up or halfway down. So in reality, whoever it was should be still on the stairs. I jumped up quickly and looked up the stairs to solve the mystery, but there was no one there. That's when I realized there was something else going on that I did not understand. Being a curious 7-year-old, a 7-year-old or maybe 8-year-old by now, in parentheses, I think he's trying to say thorough. I did a thorough examination of the stairwell. Being an old staircase, I discovered that each stair has its own unique sound. He really got into the depths with this, didn't he? Some squeaked and some popped and some did both. Over a short time, I was able to thoroughly identify the unique noise that each step made. Bro, just go up and down the stairs.
As an adult, I go home and I see my child pacing up and down the stairs, listening intently. I'm going to be concerned for that child's sanity.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, you need to talk about something. You need to get something off your chest. Like, what's going on? Normal people don't pace stairs.
Yeah.
Even children.
As a result, I discovered that the ghostly resident was coming up the stairs each night and never reaching the top. That was a great comfort to an 8-year-old with a bedroom door a mere 4 to 5 feet from the top of the staircase. Around this time, the ghostly activity in the house escalated and became more and more aggressive. The footsteps I heard previously were soft and considerate, as if it came from the steps quietly, I think he's trying to came up the steps. Yeah, came up the steps quietly so that I would not be awakened. The tone of the activity now was harsh and aggressive. On Christmas Eve that year, I think it was 1973, I was laying in bed, excitedly waiting for Santa's arrival. I couldn't sleep. I was full of candy and eggnog. I shared a room with...
That's cute, though.
Yeah, it is. I shared a room with 2 brothers at this time, both of whom were much older, so my bedtime was earlier than theirs. I began to hear scraping and thumping on my bedroom ceiling.
Krampus?
Oh, no.
Is that you?
I was excited. Santa was here. But wait, the scraping transitioned into a dragging noise.
That ain't Santa.
As if a heavy chest was being dragged across the ceiling.
Oh, like a storage chest. I thought you meant like a chest. And I was
No,
like,
girl, no.
what?
It was accompanied by a distinct clinking sound of heavy chains. It's Scrooge.
Bro, this is literally Krampus. Okay, continue.
Santa uses sleigh bells, not chains, I thought. The same thing happened on the next December 24th also, and by then I had matured enough that I knew for sure that Santa was most definitely not responsible for those sounds.
How does he think Santa keeps all the reindeer in line? Whips and chains.
Whips and chains excite me.
Correct.
I'm perfectly good. Okay. Oh gosh, I lost my place again. Then came the breathing. Regularly, while I was playing in my room or doing homework, I would hear heavy breathing. Try as I might, I could not tell where it was coming from. It seemed to come from everywhere, and it was loud. There is something about breathing that is very creepy, and that never failed to raise the hairs on the back of my neck. The sudden crashes were the one thing that really got to me. I could never reason them away. They were horrific. The first time it happened, I thought a bus had driven into the house. I searched every room and could not find anything to account for the noise. The crash became a regular occurrence, happening only when I was alone.
Are you saying crash like a car crash or a plane crash?
Yeah. Like a big crashing sound.
He lived in a house with 6 other people.
He said that he was alone. He was at home alone, and he put in parentheses, it was a different time back in the 70s. Being home alone at 9 or 10 years old was acceptable. Of course, no one believed me when I tried to tell them because they're...
I mean, I think that's acceptable now.
Yeah.
Depending on your kid.
No, I don't know. Absolutely not.
I think I started being home alone when I was like 10 or 11.
You lived in the middle of nowhere just like me.
Yeah, so did he. Look at the industrial districts in this city. There ain't nobody else out there.
Huh, who knows?
Anyway.
I tried to tell them because there was no evidence to show that I was saying what I was saying. Good Lord, friend. I think he was trying to say what I was saying was truth. The truth. Fast forward to 1976 when I was 11. By now I have been living with the footsteps on the stairs, the breathing, the crashes, the door slamming, and nightmares for a number of years. One bright summer morning, I was laying in my bed, being the top bunk above my older brother. He was not there that morning because he was away with the military reserve until he had recently joined unit. He had, and I think he's unit. As I lay in a half-wake state, barely conscious, I felt a warm breath on my face. As I opened my eyes, I was starting to see that I was just inches away from the ceiling. The warm breath I felt on my face was my own, being reflected from the ceiling back to me. I was floating in the air. It's like out of the movie, The Exorcist. As quickly as I realized what was happening, I fell immediately back into my bed. The drop was about 1 or 2 feet, and I landed with a jolt. Even now, I am not sure if I was having an out-of-body experience or if that was an actual physical experience. It happened so fast, I could not tell even then. The next summer, one of my sisters got married. I have 2 sisters, and the older one had left home by then. The newly... Is it outside? Okay. The newly married...
It's fine. Delivery trucks park in that little alleyway right there.
I felt that on my... I felt it... I felt that one. The newly married sister and her husband were away on their honeymoon, and I took full advantage of her vacant bedroom so I could get some privacy from my brother. Little did I know this would set up a sequence of events that would create a showdown between me and my unwanted guest. A day or two after the wedding, God bless you. I excitedly moved into my new territory. I like that he said that, territory. The door is the door in this room didn't open easily as the floor was carpeted in a not so beautiful 1970s green shag that snugged the bottom of the door. I did my best to close that door and jumped into my bed for the night. Almost immediately, things started to happen. I heard the nightly footsteps coming up the stairs, then the door opened. Yes, this is the same door that needed a moderate amount of force to open against the high carpet. Gravity or
That
a
70s
draft.
shag.
Gravity or a draft blowing through did not open the door. It was pushed. It occurred to me at the moment that this was the nightly destination of the footsteps that I had heard so many nights. I was very aware at this point that I was not alone. By this point in my life, for some strange reason, I was no longer afraid, but rather had a strange indifference toward it.
He was 11? No, he was older than 11 now.
I think so, yeah.
Probably like mid-teens.
Probably.
Maybe.
I casually got out of bed and closed the door again. While I was settling back in again, the door opened. Again, I climbed out of the bed and definitely... Do you need to get that? Okay. I definitely closed it. This time, it stayed closed and was quiet for a few minutes. Then the empty hangers in the closet began to move. The empty hangers. They clinged and clattered against each other as if an unseen hand was swaying back and forth along them. They scraped along the bar from which they hung, occasionally being pushed left and then right. I refused to move or react. Next to the closet was a large dresser with a mirror. It began to shake vigorously. Light coming in from the window reflected off the mirror and widely sprayed around the room. I guess he's just trying to say that it reflected light into the room.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Still, I refused to budge. I belong here. You don't, I thought. I'm not going anywhere.
That sounds like angsty teen to me.
Mm-hmm. Then things stepped up a notch when my bed began to shake. It shook hard, but still I refused to budge. The foot of the bed lifted off the floor an inch or two and was dropped back down, creating a large thump. Nope, I am not leaving. I said it out loud. All night long, the activity continued without stopping, and all night long, I stubbornly refused to leave that room. I drifted in and out of sleep as things moved and fell off the dresser. The bed was shaken, things rattled, and the door opened and closed occasionally. I regularly reinforced my position by defiantly telling the ghost to shut up until at about 5 a.m. when I had enough. I was tired and very, very cranky from being kept awake all night and being yelled at. And then I began to yell at it. I sternly advised it that I was not leaving the bedroom, and if it didn't like it, too bad. Immediately, all of the activity stopped. I did not hear another sound afterward. In fact, until we moved out from the home 2 years later, I experienced nothing at all in that house. No footsteps on the stairs, no breathing, and definitely no sudden loud crashing noise. It seemed that my stubborn nature had outwilled the ghost and caused it to move on. I guess stubbornness has its place in life after all.
Dude said bet to the ghost, and the ghost tried, and he won.
That's yep.
Some of those things sound like sleep paralysis to me. as somebody who has experienced sleep paralysis before, I have definitely felt like my body is somewhere that it is not. And then when I finally come to, I am still in bed where I should be.
Like with the floating.
Yeah. Or like, you know, when you like jolt yourself awake, like right as you're drifting off to sleep because
Mm-hmm.
you felt like you were falling.
Yeah.
That's also kind of what that sounds like to me.
Maybe.
Because when you, at least when I have experienced the like jolting awake when I'm falling, it's because I'm like having some kind of like dream or something where I'm doing something and I step off a cliff, which sounds ridiculous. Or I had one where I was like skydiving, or I've had one before where I've like fallen off a curb and twisted my ankle. Yes, very specific, but like those kinds of things, like you could have sworn you were in that situation, but then you like jolt yourself awake when you feel like you're falling.
Yeah. Like I know the feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of detail. And I think it's weird that on on Christmas Eve he was hearing like the chains and stuff like that.
That was Krampus. He's coming for him. He's been a naughty boy.
It's like I haven't seen it for a long time, but like in the Scrooge movie, isn't there like a guy with like chains on him?
Like the ghost of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's been too long.
I'm pretty sure there was one. That's what my mind went to.
I don't really watch Christmas movies
So
anymore.
Scrooge. Well, I haven't watched any of that for a very long time. That's why, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. Was like the Donald Duck version.
I know exactly what you're talking about,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Like that's like the only one I ever watched of
Oh,
Scrooge.
really? I've watched like 4 different versions through
Really?
the years. I couldn't really recount them for you. It's been too long.
Huh. Yeah.
Mm. I do appreciate that he puffed his chest at the ghost and the ghost left.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That was funny.
Like he was just like, "Come at me, bro. This is my place."
That's kind of where I'm at in life. Like if something weird happens and I'm home alone and I'm like, well, I'm either dying or I'll be fine. I don't know.
Have you seen the there's like this I don't know if it's a part of a movie, like one of the scary movies,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's have you seen the Poltergeist movies?
Of course.
Okay. So I think it's kind of like a it might be from an actual movie, I'm not sure, but it's really funny. So there's this couple and their house is haunted, and there's just like this little clip that I saw recently. Um, and you just see like a tiny little like 2-second video of them outside their front door, and they're like arguing about how they're going to handle it. And then they're in their house, they're sitting in the kitchen. One's like on their phone or reading a magazine or something, and the other one's reading a newspaper.
Mm.
And there's like a cup on the counter, and it flies off the counter. And the lady's like reading her magazine. She's just like, "Oh, good thing we switched to plastic." And then, oh God, what was it? Oh yeah, and then they had, like your thing that you hang pots on that can hang up like over the island.
Mm-hmm.
So that started shaking and a pot fell. And they're like, the guy was like, "We need to have that looked at." And then
Don't give the ghosty poo any power.
yeah, and then they're like, "Do you want some coffee?" And so she went to oh no, the tea kettle started going off.
Mm-hmm.
You could hear it whistling. And so she went to go get it, and then you saw the tea kettle fly across the room, and she was just like, "I'm gonna go to Starbucks. Do you want anything?" And then he's just like, "Yeah." And then like all of the like drawers like fly open, and he was like, okay, love you. I'll see you in a little bit. Like, they just, like, acted like it was not happening whatsoever.
Imagine being
Gave
a
it no
ghost.
power.
Imagine being a ghost. And you're doing everything you can to scare these humans. And they're just like, huh, that's weird. Still want coffee? I can go grab that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that the house is shaking and drawers are flying open. I don't see that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. That's fine.
That's funny. And the ghost is just like sitting there getting more and more stressed, like scratching his head, like, what is happening? I'm giving it my all. They didn't teach me this in poltergeist school.
Yes, exactly. I thought that was so funny though. It's like if people did that on a regular basis,
Demons wouldn't have any power.
Yeah. Like they wouldn't have any power whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Make it snappy.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I have been assigned a story, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between.
Reddit stories.
Reddit stories. This one comes from Am I the A-hole? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Am I the asshole for suggesting we lock up the Christmas presents after what my niece did last year? Probably not. Kids suck. So here's the story. Every year, my siblings and I, alongside our family, spend Christmas with our parents. We stay at their house for a few days. Everyone opens gifts together. It's hectic, but it's a lot of fun. The kids enjoy having one big sleepover with their cousins. My mom likes having everyone home again. We all pitch in. It's a win-win. That sounds cute. Last year, my brother married Sally. She has a 7-year-old daughter, Mindy. This was their first Christmas with us. It seemed like they were having a fun time. Christmas Eve, all the kids went to the finished basement to sleep. Details are what matters. The basement was finished, fully furnished. Perfect.
Yes.
Matters. There's also a lot of periods in this, and it's making it kind of difficult to read. We told the kids not to open up gifts without us and to wake us up when they did. This was repeated several times. This was just like customary in my house. Like, you could wake up, but you didn't touch the presents until the parents got up.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And there was only one of me, so I just like laid in bed and waited. This was repeated several times. Once the kids were asleep, we put all the gifts under the tree and eventually we went to bed ourselves. The next morning around 6 a.m., I wake up early and head downstairs. I find the living room a mess. Half the gifts were unwrapped. Several of them had been ripped from their boxes. There was Mindy playing with some of the toys. That kid's a little shit. I would like not even going any farther into this. This upsets me.
Yeah.
Like, why does this kid not have any boundaries? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Mindy redeems herself, but right now I'm mad at Mindy. Most of the ones weren't even hers.
Anna's so mad.
I would have been so upset. She knows how to read, and they were all labeled, so she knew this. I was in shock. I went and got my brother, Sally, alongside with the rest of the adults. Sally was super embarrassed. My mom was really upset. The other kids weren't up yet, so we tried to salvage what we could while Sally talked to Mindy. Not everything could be fixed, and she had broken a couple toys completely. You know how I am with my things.
Yes.
I always have been.
Yes.
I would have
Mm-hmm.
imploded
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if my cousin, whom I'd never met before, had awoken and arisen, touched my gifts that had my name on it. She can read.
Mm-hmm.
And then she broke them.
Yes.
And then she broke them.
Uh-huh. Is she's old enough to know better?
Luckily, not everything was damaged, and even the boxes that were, the kids didn't notice. That's, a good thing about most kids. But my nephew, in parentheses, sister's son, had one of his biggest gifts destroyed, and he was sad when everyone else got theirs, and he was told he'd have to wait for a new one to come back in.
Oh, no.
Sally and my brother reimbursed everyone. Okay, money doesn't buy everything, my dudes. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Mindy didn't get to open gifts with everyone, but joined the festivities later. She apologized, but kept making excuses. She said she didn't want to wait, and she wanted to see what everyone else got. That is not your choice to make, small child. It's just not. It's just not.
Yep, I agree.
You have to share. You have to
be patient just like everyone else.
I'm sorry. Let me finish this. I've got 2 paragraphs left and I keep flying off.
Okay.
We're all preparing to go to my parents again this year. I put in the group chat that we should either lock the door to the living room this year or put a gate around the tree so nobody can get to it. What kind of old 1960s house are you in that the living room has a door with a lock on it? I mean, like, look at my house. There's no doors or locks on anything.
Well, from the sound of it, their second living room is in the attic. So there's probably a door. Because she said she went downstairs at 6 a.m. So it's either, a house with a basement and 1 floor above. Or, I mean, who knows? It might just be an older house.
Yeah, I'm voting on older house. I didn't name names, just specifically said no one. Sally and my brother got mad, accusing me of treating Mindy like a baby or an animal. I said I'm not, but this is a precaution so none of the kids are tempted.
Yeah.
They said this isn't necessary and I'm holding a mistake over Mindy's head. I said no, I'm not. I'm trying to make sure we have no repeat. Because I know it'll be asked, Mindy doesn't have autism or ADHD. And even if she did, my daughter has ADHD and both of my sister's kids are on the spectrum. They knew better. I don't think Mindy was malicious. She was only 6, but I do think precautions should be made. My parents agree with me and my brother is mad that I put it in their heads. AITA. No. And
I don't think so either.
Also, your brother and his wife can go kick rocks. Like, that's just, like, as a child, yes, mistakes happen. Even adults get too excited and do things they shouldn't. I'm way too close to my mic and it is, like, right up in my business. Even adults get excited and make mistakes, right?
Right.
It's part of being human. It's part of having flaws. It's fine. It's whatever. The fact that she was talked to, the time that it happened, and supposedly a resolution was reached, that's good. That's what should have happened. The kid still messed up. They still shouldn't have done that. That's still disrespectful. But I don't think it's wrong at all to attempt to mitigate any potential issues this year.
Yeah.
And just lock it down. Because what if a different kid is feeling frisky? Maybe the other kid wants, like, revenge because Mindy broke his toy last year.
Listen, you never know. If there's a bunch of kids, like, listen, every kid has their own personality. You never know. There might be a vengeful child in the bunch. There might be, there might be someone that's like, well, last year they did that. Why can't I do it?
Exactly.
Exactly. Hello, baby.
Okay, and we've got Desmond as a special guest, apparently.
Hello. You want to snuggle? No, you just want to. Okay.
This is the
All right.
cons of recording in my house.
Hey,
This is the cat's
I'll
house.
I'll take the kid days anytime. It's fine.
My cats know not to open gifts that aren't theirs. That's not true. They don't.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I didn't even risk it we didn't start putting trees and putting trees. We didn't start putting Christmas presents under the tree until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even risk it. We didn't even, like, a lot of people just do that, So I think maybe it was last year or 2 years ago. I don't know. This would be the second or the third year that we've just had presents under the tree.
Because they're
for
old
the whole
enough
month
to
of
know
December.
better.
Yeah. But before that, like, we would hide them and then put them out like early in the morning.
So I just had this flashback. My parents' house, the room that they use as a living room had one entrance, and it had a door with a lock on it. Yep.
It is the older house, though.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was built in the 60s. So do you remember that before they redid everything?
Yes.
Yeah. And the door still exists, but now there's an additional door, and that doorway is just a doorway. It doesn't have a door with a lock on it anymore. But yeah, okay. So I've mystery solved on that. But yeah, not the asshole. Mindy needed to learn a lesson, which hopefully she did. And mom and dad need to step back and quit being so sensitive and offended by the smallest things.
Yeah, the thing is a lot of parents. I've been butthurt about things before as a parent, but like I let it go. I don't make a big deal out of it. But like, it's usually just like stuff with like the school or something like that, or
specific individuals that shall not be named.
Yeah. But that's really it when it comes to my kids. But
like, she didn't even explicitly say Mindy's the problem and this is what we should do to fix the problem this year. She just said, so we don't have any repeats.
She kept it open.
So we don't have some other kid decide to be a menace this year or what have you.
Yeah.
Desmond, get away from that. I see you, boo-boo. And if you turn my computer off, we're going to have some consequences. You're going to be held against your will and kissed, and you will not like it.
Let's see.
Desmond is just making the rounds this afternoon, morning, whatever. What time is it? Yeah, this morning.
10 a.m. Okay, this one is from Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for letting my daughter celebrate Christmas despite my husband and his family's disapproval?
This could be interesting. My initial response on that is no, but let's see why.
My brother-in-law. Okay. What? Trying to figure out what they're trying to say here. It says my F32.
That she's identifying herself as a female 32 years of age.
Yeah, but it says my female 32 brother-in-law passed away.
As in her, is 32 years old and female. So she's setting the tone of who she is, how old she is, where she's at in life, and her brother-in-law.
Okay, yeah, she just didn't put any punctuation or anything, so.
Yeah, makes it confusing.
Yeah.
Punctuation is important, kids.
So this person is female, 32 years old, and her brother-in-law passed away in 2018 on Christmas Day in an auto accident at the age of 24. He was in the military, and his death was so devastating for the family. My husband's family no longer celebrates Christmas. It's become a death anniversary, and I cannot express how last year's holidays were. Family family is supposed to gather on the day, and we're constantly reminded this. Oh gosh. I'm sorry, I'm trying to piece this together. We're constantly reminded that we are not there to celebrate Christmas, but to mourn my brother-in-law. Sorry, she added like a bunch of words in between that made no sense. No gift, no gifts, no music, just people sitting quietly. Instead of Christmas decorations, there are pictures of my brother-in-law and candles. We weren't allowed to cook. Any meal we received was given away to the neighbors. All I ever hear is, "I'm sorry for your loss," instead of "Merry Christmas." My daughter is 5, and her cousin got to watch Frozen on YouTube since TV was turned off at my in-laws. They got they got told to turn it down. My daughter made her grandma a sweet Christmas card, and I ended up being berated for not telling my daughter to make a card for her uncle. This may sound selfish, but the kids couldn't be happy, including my daughter. It was awful. I suggested a different way to celebrate this year, but still celebrate. They all vetoed my suggestion, and husband's mom told him to handle me like WTF? Question mark. I've received texts from my
Fighting words.
yeah. I received texts from my in-laws telling me to come over for the anniversary. I told my husband that I want our daughter to be happy and not experience what happened last year. My daughter begged her dad to take her somewhere and do some activities. He was just wrapped in a blanket and telling me to wake him up at 3 so we can go visit my in-laws. I baked cookies, but was told to leave them at home. He said he's buying gifts, but I shouldn't tell anyone, and he's organized a secret gift exchange between family members. We arrived there, and it was the same scene from last year. No food, music, gifts. I was upset, so we just had to sit for hours while everyone else enjoyed the holidays. I left with my daughter after my husband argued, saying, "Suck it up. We won't be here next year." And I told her to I took her I took her to the restaurant and enjoyed a meal and did some activities together. So she took her daughter to go do something for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
My mother-in-law started calling me and berating me. When I got home, there was a text from her and my sister-in-law calling me insensitive, cruel, heartless, shameless, etc. I got into an argument with my husband saying I shouldn't have acted so selfishly and pretended that like family's loss was nothing to me and leave like that. He said that I should have made plans for another day, but I was stubborn. I argued with him that my daughter couldn't even eat at the in-laws, and that my daughter couldn't even eat at my in-laws, and he kept making excuses for them, telling me that I just ruined his relationship with his family.
There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, your husband is a dickwad for talking to you like that. I'm just going to start there.
Listen, I know that people grieve in their own way, and that's okay.
Trauma is hard.
And, we might be missing something.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, they might be a certain religion, because certain religions you have to fast, and you can't have like any light coming into the house, no music, like it might be a different religion or a ritual that they grew up doing, like a different culture, like I don't know, or they're just
sounds like they're just unhinged to me.
Unhinged. Yeah.
That would be,
Like, that would be a reasonable explanation.
yeah, but that wouldn't be just then. Like, they've lost more than one family member. They had to have. It doesn't make any sense for a family to have only lost, like, you can't be an adult and have lost one family member. Like, it just does not work like that.
Well, yeah, but like
So if that was a way that they show mourning,
right.
there would
But
be
it happened
multiple
on
days of that.
Christmas, so that's why it stands out.
But it wouldn't be such a shock to the poster. It wouldn't be like a, oh God, like, this is awful. It would be more of a, well, this happened on Christmas Day, so we're going to participate in our mourning on Christmas Day. And then, like, a few days later, like the weekend before, the weekend after, or if you wanted to do something completely unrelated, if this as a family is too traumatic and too painful to talk about, but you still want to enjoy the holidays, make your own holiday. There ain't no rule against that. Celebrate something in like October, September. Get together, exchange gifts, show that you care about one another still. Because the problem that I have with this is that they are gatekeeping what they are allowing other people to do.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't agree with that. Now, if it was like a cultural thing or if it was like a religious thing, you know, you shouldn't force other people into doing that with you. Like if they don't want to participate, then you shouldn't shame them for that. But what they're doing, if it's not anything like that, it's not okay either way. Like you don't take
It's sad,
like I
honestly.
understand like you're mourning the person that you lost a year ago. And every Christmas you're going to feel that loss. But you're going to feel that loss equally throughout the rest of the year, every year. You're just reminded a little bit more that it happened on that day.
So
But do you think
celebrate
that
life
your
instead.
loved one, do you think that your loved one is going to want you to just dread life and the holiday? Like, what if that was their favorite holiday?
Yeah. And they're not taking into consideration what's best for the
entire
child
family too, because I'm
as
sure
well.
because she said that they were watching Frozen with her cousins. There's other kids,
Yeah.
and you know they're young and impressionable right now.
And death is not a bad thing. Now don't get me wrong.
It's not easy, but
It sucks. It's hard. It doesn't feel good.
It's a fact of life.
But it's not a bad thing. Like, to me, they are taking this and they are creating a punishment for not only themselves, but everybody else that they are forcing to be a part of it. And it's not okay. But it's just disrespectful and it's closed-minded and it's narrow-sighted.
Yeah.
And they're not allowing people to grieve in the way that they see fit. That's the gatekeeping part that I'm talking about. Like, not only does nobody handle trauma the same way, but not everybody handles grief the same way. Like, some people joke about it. Some people sob uncontrollably. Some people get angry and break things. Some people do drugs to escape the pain. Like, it's not the same for everyone. And it's cruel to expect your family to grieve the loss of a loved one the exact same way.
Yeah, and you also have to think about it this way too, is you're the parent. Like I understand like losing a child is like gotta be the worst thing ever. But you have other children and you have grandchildren. And as a parent, you're supposed to be strong and sturdy. You know, you're supposed to fall apart and be human in front of your kids, but not like, you know what I'm like. It's just in my perspective is that you show them that you're human, but you want to be a a stone. You want to be strong and the backbone for your children and their children, so that they can mourn and they can get through it their way while you handle it however you're going to handle it. But
Mm-hmm.
also being a strong, sturdy person. And I like, you don't even have to feel that way.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can cry your eyes out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but gosh, a whole year later, and you're like making everybody sit in absolute silence
That's creepy.
with no present. Like, it's a holiday. I understand you
I
lost your
haven't even
child.
been to a funeral that is that creepy and silent.
I have never been to a funeral like that.
Yeah. Not the asshole.
No,
Everybody is
they
allowed to
deemed
grieve in their own way.
they deemed not the a-hole as well. So
Yeah. And
it there's just a lot with that story.
and if your family chooses to grieve in that way, whether or not we think it's an appropriate way, at the end of the day, you should be respectful of everybody's choices. And if somebody decides that they do not want to grieve in that way and they do not want to participate in that every year, that is something that whether you, or not you approve of it, you need to be at least respectful enough to let them go quietly. Like, sure, talk about them behind their back. Be hateful behind their back. If you really feel like you need to get that out, whatever. But calling somebody to aggressively berate them
Yeah, that's
is
not right.
so inappropriate.
Yeah, you need to deal with your own stuff and stop taking it out on me.
Yeah, that sounds like unhandled trauma.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of sitting in silence, we should talk to a therapist.
Yeah. I agree.
Therapy's important. Take care of your mind. Sow healthy seeds so they can grow into healthy plants and bloom.
Yeah.
PSA for the day.
Next.
Next. Is this our last one?
Yes.
I'll do my best then.
Okay.
You can end on a solid note.
Solid.
This one also comes from Am I the butthole? Am I the butthole for refusing to participate in Christmas activities with my wife and kids? Oh, so we're going the opposite way on this one. We're the opposite way. Okay. Ooh, and it's a short story too. Let's see. My wife has always been more into holidays than me because she didn't have much of a family and they were dysfunctional. That makes sense. I grew up in a huge family and I've already experienced as many big Christmases as I need. Completely understand that. And that is not how my backstory goes at all. I just, It wasn't a big deal, but since we have kids, 3 kids, it seems. One is 2, one is 5, and one is 12. She's obsessed with making it special. Over the years, she's started a lot of new traditions that include decorating the tree and a bookshelf with the kids. She knows that I don't like to bother with any of that. I mean, I let her do it, but I don't want to be involved since my weekends are my days off and that's just unnecessary work. I understand that. The thing is, she keeps asking me if I want to help or go with them to see lights, which takes forever, or do gingerbread houses. I could not have been clearer. So today, when she put up the tree, I just avoided all of that by staying in the bedroom with the door closed. She says that I am the asshole for refusing to participate and that I'm always acting like I have holiday related trauma, when really it's the weekend, it's my time, and I just want to relax. I don't see what the big deal is. She also called me the asshole for telling me for me telling the kids Santa is fake. They didn't believe me, so I'm not even sure why she's mad. I get that she's trying to give the kids what she didn't have, but it's not my fault that she had a hard childhood. It seems like something that she needs to get over instead of trying to play catch up. You, sir, are the asshole. First of all, it does not matter whether it is Christmas related, satanic related, holiday whatsoever related, flowers blooming in the spring, swimming with the family. It doesn't matter. My point is, it doesn't matter. You have children. You created those children. You obliged by these children, and you are not spending time with them. It does not matter what the activity is. If you think that your time off is so important that you need to sit in a room by yourself with the door closed and ignore your family, maybe you should just, I don't know, get a divorce and do that so you can sit by yourself all the time.
Oh my god. Okay, are you gonna breathe?
I'm passionate about this
You
one.
did not even take a second to take a breath. You just like word vomited.
This man irritates the heck out of me. So absolutely, you are the asshole.
So he's deemed the a-hole on Reddit.
Wonder why. Also, telling okay. Telling the kids that Santa isn't real. I chuckled a little bit when I read that, but that is not a decision that you get to make single-handedly.
No, that's something that you do as parents together. You discuss when, where, how, all the things. Like that's not appropriate. He's just being like a real life Scrooge, and he's being an a-hole. Like he's just like, you don't have to put your negativity on the children.
And not only that, but let me see that.
Okay.
I'm so mad.
I have
This
to
guy
find
made me
it.
so irritated. It's just okay. I'm gonna take a breath and look at this logically because that really hyped my emotions.
Oh my gosh.
But I still feel the same way. Like you chose to have a family. Okay? You chose to have children. There are options out there, however difficult they may be, or the fact that you maybe don't believe in those options. But if you didn't want a family, you didn't have to have a family. Okay?
Are you going through a midlife crisis and
But
you're
you chose
just
that.
taking that out on everyone else?
And the fact that you have small children at home, like you should not be hiding in your room on your days off. That's a massive disservice to your kids. Like they need you there just as much as they want you there. Like you are a part of their life. You are part of what holds them up, or you should be. At this point, you might just be like some faded memory because it seems like you don't want to spend time with your kids. Another part of having kids, which I know you'll agree with me on, is sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Sometimes those sacrifices are hard and you really have to just grit and bear it. And some of those sacrifices are making a goddamn gingerbread house because your 2-year-old says, "Daddy, build with me."
You know what is so funny? Damon, my husband, hates Christmas.
Me too.
He hates it.
This is why we get
And,
along.
Like, but like, he like, when I say he hates Christmas, I mean he hates Christmas. Like he doesn't like the decorations. He doesn't like anything like that. But he like last year he offered to take us to go see the lights
That's crazy.
and planned to make hot cocoa when we got back.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? And
That's
then
wild.
yesterday,
What a concept.
so my son, he got one of those 3D printer things, kind of like what you got me for Christmas, but it's a dinosaur. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of his legs broke, and
Aw.
Hunter yesterday, he was just like, um, Daddy can fix it. I was like, baby, I don't know if Dad can fix that. And he was just like, he looked at me and he was so serious. He's just like, he can give him surgery just like he did Emily's reindeer for the gingerbread house. I was like, that was like 3 years ago. How do you remember that?
He remembers because kids are impressionable and they remember things that matter to them. And sometimes the things that matter to them are building a goddamn gingerbread house with them.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't even the surgery on his reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
And he remembered that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
It doesn't matter the deep content that someone has for something. Like, if they really love their kids, contempt.
There we go.
Did I say it right?
You said content.
Content.
Contempt.
Content. Content.
Comtit. That went off the deep end.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I have a hard time saying that word. Anyways,
Yeah, it's a weird one.
like, he's gonna like, and oh gosh,
It matters. Things that don't matter to you matter to other people.
yeah,
And that goes for literally any interaction you have with any individual at any age in any walk of life.
right.
You don't know what's going to mean something to somebody,
Yeah,
which is why you should always treat others with kindness.
right. So, like, you know, the way he's acting now,
It's childish.
of course, like, he stated within the first 2 paragraphs that his wife did not have a good upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to do Christmas stuff. Like, she wants to have a legit, like, family Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you taking that away from her? Not just your children, but
Mhm.
why are you taking that away from the person you married and had children with?
Yeah, like you definitely chose her. Whether or not you chose the kids, you chose her.
Right. So, he's the a-hole.
100%.
He has some serious therapy to be had. And you know what the thing is he could always, you know, sit down and have a conversation with her and be like, hey, I'm okay with doing this, and you know, I'll do this with you guys, but I don't want this. As long as it's reasonable, like, you know, I want you to do the Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Or you and the kids do the decorating and I will come home and enjoy it after work. Like,
Sit in the family room instead of closing yourself off in your bedroom. What?
yeah, see, that's what I
almost
don't
said something really
understand.
mean.
That's what I don't understand either, is every single night we sit at the dining room table.
Mm-hmm.
Every single night.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is our family time. And you know how many people don't do that?
Yeah.
Or don't even have a dining room table. They
Mhm.
just sit on their couch and watch TV, and they don't even talk to each other, or they go to their rooms.
We sit on the floor in front of our coffee table and we eat dinner there. Sometimes we watch TV, sometimes we don't. But right now we do watch TV because right now we started a new anime, so.
That's cool.
But we
But
also
it's
have
important-
family time.
Yeah, it's important to have that family time.
Mm-hmm. Family time with the
Yeah.
2 of us and
Yeah,
our cats.
like, you know, at least get home, you know, kiss your wife and kids. If
Mhm.
you need like 30 minutes, take 30 minutes. Take
Mhm.
30 minutes and then come and eat dinner, or come and help with dinner and then eat dinner.
But
And then, you know,
also, it sounds like your wife does a lot. What if she needs 30 minutes?
yeah.
Because she either, one, stays at home all day with at least 2 kids that stay home. The 12-year-old, assuming they're like schooled publicly or privately, goes to
Right.
school. But the other 2 are young enough that they stay home. So let's assume she is a stay-at-home mom. Full-time job, first of all. That's not easy.
100%.
And then let's assume she does work, okay? She goes to work just like you do. She works a full-time job just like you do. And then
Mm-hmm.
guess what? She comes home and she has to take care of these kids all by herself because you're you had a bad day and you need to go sit in your quiet room by yourself. No sir. You had kids. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
kids need you.
Yeah.
You don't get to just hide because you have a headache. That ended when you turned 23 and you became an actual fucking adult.
So like the funny thing is like
I feel strongly about this story.
especially during the summer, like Damon comes home, he takes like 30 minutes to himself while I finish dinner. We eat, and then after we eat, I like lock myself away for like 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, or
And then
that
he
kind of thing. Yeah,
yeah,
fairsies. You
and
you
then
change out.
he comes and he like lets out his like angsty energy from the day, like plays a game or he scrolls on TikTok or something. But like it's either the kids read to me, I read to them, or they read to Damon. Like we always have
It's
like
like an end
little
of night thing.
segments, yeah, of like like that is so important for kids, and he's neglecting everyone, and it sounds like himself as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely I've taken too much time to just bash this man, and it sounds like
Don't take away the joy.
it but it I mean it seems like he just needs
Help.
help, which it also, based on the way that this was written, seems like he is not acknowledging that he needs help, which means he's not going to seek help. But something else that really bothers me is she keeps asking if he wants to help. She's
No, no, no.
trying to invite him in. Like, yeah, he said he doesn't want any part of it. First of all, I believe that everything should be 50-50. Like, some days maybe you give 80 and she gives 20. Maybe some days she has to give 100 and you give like zero point zero 0.01. But everything should even out. And over the course of like a week or a month or however you want to take that metric, everything should be 50-50. So you should be helping whether or not you're happy about it, and you should put a smile on your face because your kids need you there. But the fact that she keeps asking him if he wants to join in on things and if he wants to be a part of things, like, she is trying her best to include him, even though she probably already knows what his answer is going to be.
Yeah.
And the fact that he keeps getting upset about it
Yeah.
is just showing.
Yeah.
But then he says to go see lights with them, which takes forever. Let me tell you, if those gremlins, I don't like Rama.
Yeah, I know.
There's too many people there.
Yeah.
It's just it's too much. It does take forever. But if they asked me to go to Remo with them,
You would.
we'd figure it out.
Yeah.
We'd figure it out. And they are in no way, shape, or form my responsibility. I could
No.
walk away right now and it wouldn't matter.
No,
I mean, it would, but
yeah, you love them. They matter to you.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, if they asked me to build a gingerbread house with them,
You'd be all over
we'd
that
be building
though.
but yeah, but that's exciting to me. So I don't know. It's something that doesn't excite me. I don't know. It's them, so I could get excited for anything they ask me to do.
100%.
But
We're gonna teach my daughter how to shave her legs. We're excited about that.
yeah, I did kind of drop the ball on that, and I de-haired myself already, so I'm gonna have to grow that back out.
So what's funny about that is that I didn't even tell Anna about it.
What?
That we were doing that when I told Emily we were doing that. Because
I've just been signed up for this.
Yeah, like it was like the day before we were leaving to go out of town, and so she's a redhead, and her hair is like blondish, strawberry blonde now. It used to just be straight like blonde, but now it's kind of like a tint to it. And it is so long. Like she's furry. and when the light shines on it,
ooh, that's the worst.
yeah, and she like was wearing shorts and she laid her legs out in front of me on my bed and she's like, My legs are really hairy, Mom. And I was like, okay,
The time is upon
me and
us.
Aunt Anna will teach you how to shave, and we will save up our leg hair and arm hair to teach you how to shave so we could show you. And she's like, oh, thank goodness, because I'm afraid if I try to do it on my own without you showing me, I'll hurt myself. And I was just like, probably, but it's
I
okay.
mean, she will anyway. I took chunks
Oh,
out of
heck
my
yeah.
legs learning how to shave as a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. We're going to make it fun.
Yeah.
The whole point is he needs help. He's
The
having a
whole
hard
moral
time.
of the story is that, honestly, hate to say it, but you're not a very good dad. Just period.
And you know what? If you take the time to look at things and look at yourself and your situation and, you know, get it off your chest and talk about it or whatever, then you can make those changes. You can make those changes.
Yeah. I definitely not a hopeless situation by any means.
No,
Like, you can
absolutely
always
not.
change, but
It's up
it
to you,
doesn't
though.
matter if you make 6, 7, 8 figures a year. It doesn't matter how rich you are or how much you buy your kids. Your kids want quality time with you. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they're wearing the latest and greatest Gucci kids line or however the hell you say that. They
Gotcha.
they want to spend time with you. They want to build gingerbread houses. They want to put Legos together. They want to watch a cartoon that they choose, not you.
Yeah.
They want to do something with you so they feel like you want to be a part of their life and they feel like you care. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to do that in ways that you don't necessarily want to do, like watching Ben 10 with your then 7-year-old nephew because he's obsessed with it and you just kind of want to beat your head against a wall because it doesn't make any fucking sense. But you just do it. The point is, you just do it. And
Yeah.
he's not being a good husband. He's not being a good father.
Yeah.
And who knows what he does with the rest of his life.
But like, you also have to think, like, he's locking himself away in his room. Like,
there's
he's gotta
something there.
be like depressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's gotta be some kind of like imbalance or something there. So,
Yeah.
hopefully he gets that figured out, because that's
Hopefully.
like it's something that can be fixed, but he has to choose to do that and be able to see what's going on
Yeah.
from the outside. So those are our Christmas run stories.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we have a little bit of angst in there. We have some spooks in there.
I got really passionate about the last one.
Oh my gosh. You did not, I swear you did not take a breath for like a whole minute and a half.
I don't think I did.
You were like
my brain was reading faster than my mouth was, so I had like finished the story before I had like finished saying the story, and in my head I was like, what is wrong with this man?
I could see you just starting to boil. Oh man. Yeah, well, hopefully you guys have a fantastic Christmas, because we don't want children getting into things, causing chaos and a monk. We don't want family members to damper anything in any way, shape, or form for you. And if
Damper
so,
or
write it
dampen.
on the Reddits, and maybe we'll find it for next year. Do share. Okay, well, we'll see you
next
Saturday?
week. This end of this week, I don't know. We are coming at you with like maybe an extra video this week because we kind of feel bad that we were gone for so long.
Yeah, sorry guys, that was my fault.
But we haven't nailed down when that extra video is coming to you. But
yeah, so you'll have a little extra holiday something in there.
Little extra holiday love from
This is
us.
the holidays.
If you have questions, comments, concerns, calculations, throw them in the comments.
Yes.
Except maybe not calculations because I'm not good at math.
Calculations. So, you guys be good. Be groovy.
Stay on Santa's good list. Remember, he's always watching you.
Be a good human.
Or don't and get coal in your stocking. I mean, that's up to you, really.
Bye.
Bye.